About 7. Meanwhile, let me see your hand if you're a man in this house. Joy, are you a man? Nilante, are you a boy or a girl? As a man, lift your hand. You are still putting your hand down. I'll change your name. You are my son. Look at your number. Look at your number. And when they put things on the platform, sometimes I'm there quiet. I'm thinking people should contribute, people should agree. One thing, they will go round. 3 months, they are saying the same thing. I say, oh God, deliver my man. I'm not that man. I'm an action man. I move. When I say it, I do it. I run. I do things sometimes all by myself. And many mighty men. Men, lift your hands, we'll pray. Say, oh God. Those of you who are not lifting your hand, you are girls. You joke with me. I'll pray the spirit of a girl over you right now. Say, oh God, deliver us as men and make us serious like men. Henceforth, we'll rise and be like men. Clap for yourselves. I'm done. Dr. Ayin is in the house. I prepared a way for him. This is a young man I met through Auntie Esther, and I've not regretted. Selfless, generous, humble, knowledgeable, unassuming. Sometimes, oh doc, but you know how sometimes we see people and we want to relate to them by what we see, and we miss it. Something, the things I sent to him to evaluate for me. Because people, when I say I'm a pastor, they say you're a doctor. Pastor, doctor, pastor, doctor, pastor, doctor. Then some of the hard things I forward to him. I say, doc, people are causing trouble, like the king of Israel. The king of Syria sent a leper to the king to cure. How can a king cure leprosy? And the king was crying. Somebody told the healer, say, go and tell the king there is a God in Israel. So the God of Ayin is in this house. And please listen carefully. Sometimes I've realized, like I keep saying, when we see things to be free, we try to mess with it. Never receive anything free. The things I've learned from this man, and let me say by the grace of God, there was a cancer case that was over me and beyond me. But the people believe that I can cure it. So I say, dog, they have brought me trouble. Please, what can you add to this and that I have? Say, oh, man of God, don't worry. Do this, do that. Let them do this, let them do that. And he even told me I should look for Judas' ear. Judas assume a mushroom. Mahubio Mekrasi. But I've never known the name. But by grace, I was able to gather all that. But the grace of God, the woman that was certified cancerous in the breast, whose breast they said they will cut at age 60 something, she said she preferred to die with it. She has lived with her breast. She will go back to the grave with her breast. The same doctors have certified that she's free from cancer. They will come and give their testimony. They live in Bogosu. They will come and give their testimony. I'm not the doctor. So those of you who are listening to me from Ghana, Medical and Dental Council, think you come after me. I have raised a disclaimer. Shamusin is not a doctor. What I eat, I share. God bless you. Over to you, Doc. Speak to us. We are ready. When people are living or they want to leave, please ask them to go away so that they will not even get the secrets. But feel free and teach. I'm here to learn. I'm here to receive. God bless you. Amen.
Amen. What are we saying to our Father? God bless you. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the gift of life and your time to enable me speak to your children. Speak through me so your children will hear your voice. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. Pastor, we are continuing from where you left off. We are starting from the second point. Which one is that? Who can tell me? The second point. Okay, so that is where we continue from. Big dream run through your DNA. But today's own is a bit unlike me. But we have to know and be aware so that we make the right decision. Every day in life, I discover new things. I don't know, maybe God or Satan, they give me sometimes very, very evil experience. And every day I come and then I'm able to diagnose the devil. You know, your health is a treasure, and the devil is also in constant duty to make you uncomfortable and make you unwell so that you forget your Creator. And so today, it's going to be a bit different. But I tell you, if you miss this, you are doomed. So I would be a bit on the low key. That is very unlike me. But it's very, very factual. So we will go. So we are going into the DNA of the human being. When you take, by basic school definition, a cell is the primary unit of every human being. Let's go to the next slide, please. The cell, is the smallest part of you. And then inside it is a nucleus. And then inside the nucleus are substances that contains your DNA. They are called the chromosome. And then when you look at this thing is not a snake, right? It's your DNA. And then different types of protein join together. And then they make up you. That is you. And so when we have similarities in replications or in the strands, then it means that we are related. Now when you go and then the next slide, we do some tests and confirmation, and then we realize that your DNA is a bit deviated from mine. You say that, maybe we are not related. And so that is how come we are able to get the DNA test, of some people who are not very truthful. And so your DNA tells who you are. And so for every human being, we have a total of 23 chromosomes. And then 46 in total, 23 pairs of chromosomes. And so when you split it into haploids, like the first picture, this one, you have 43. And for every human being, you are supposed to have 46, or say 23 pairs. When you are short of, say, 1, you become another organism. When we add 1, you become something else. And then the matching, say A to C, G to U, and that. If they miss, you lose your identity. And so that is how God created you. And so if we say that the dream is in your DNA, you should understand. Okay, so let's go gradually into what we are going to do. In fact, there's a subject that a lot of people fear to talk about. Today, I'll say it. We hear something we call GMO. And we don't know and we don't understand. So what is GMO? This animal or whatever called GMO is genetically modified food. Genetic, like when I say genetic, we are going back to the DNA, right? When I go and I'm able to alter some positions of the proteins, I say that the gene have been modified or has been altered. And then definitely it's an organism. So when I change it, the character of that particular organism what? Changes. And so when we say genetically modified organism, it means that someone has stayed in the laboratory and has done some changes in the DNA strands. And so somebody did the first ever genetic modified food. The person, the first genetically modified food was approved for release. That was tomato. You know, tomato is a perishable good. And so someone has to sit and engineer a way to take out what makes it so prone to rottenness. And so he changed the DNA of it by introducing a gene from fish to form this new form of tomato. And the tomatoes was able to stay for a very long time. And mark you, the first of its kind was produced in 1994, quite recently. And so what is it? There are foods that are derived genetically, have done that. So when we change the DNA, it becomes something different. And so in genetic modification, scientists remove one or more genes from the DNA of another organism, such as bacteria, virus, whatever. So in science, that is what we do. When you look at this picture, you see that the DNA strand under the maize is straight, but someone is introducing another new strand that will change the character of that particular organism. And so, why would scientists want to modify crops or certain foods or certain organisms? Please don't sleep. When you sleep, you lose big time. It's a bit boring, but getting to the end of it, you understand why God is revealing himself to us. First, pastor is a farmer. Some plants are very prone to diseases, like cowpea. In fact, you have to spray several times before you can have cowpea. Beans, abobo, gobe. You have to spray so much chemical to enable you get the bean. And so, when they consider it, they say, okay, they want to develop a crop that can withstand diseases. The first word, withstand diseases. And then, insect-resistant crop. They want to alter it in so much that, they also eat. Insects also eat. And so, they want a situation whereby when we plant the crop, no insect will eat it. You see, can you imagine a day like this where all the insects will be hungry because our foods have been protected and they no longer eat it? Sometimes harder and bigger fruits. I've seen watermelon that is taller than me. No. Cucumber. Very tall cucumber than myself. Have you seen one before? Cucumber. One cucumber. It's bigger than me. It means that when we take one cucumber, at least when we have about two, everybody will have a fair share, right? And then sometimes we do genetic modification for vaccines. Some vaccines, in fact, I would not want to talk about it, but we do that to also boost our body immune system or make our body prepare for diseases that are threatening to attack us. And that is why we want to do that. The fact of the matter is that 70 to 75% of foods in the supermarket are genetically modified foods. When I'm done, I'll state my sources so that everybody can also confirm. In the US, soya bean is about 93% GMO. Do you know why? Most of the soya products are imported from Brazil, and all the soya from Brazil are genetically modified foods. And so, if in the US it's 93%, what is the percentage in Ghana? Corn in the US is 86%, and many others. For this one, I can boast of Ghana. We can say that the percentage will be less because we have most of the maize being planted in inland. But this man, who knows this man on the screen? Please show by hand. Yeah. Yes. I think he's the next most wanted man after Osama bin Laden. For now, he's very wanted. Now, I want to share with you why the world is after him. And one thing he said, that he has become an enemy. Let's read. He said something, and I quote, "We are a species. We as a species have the choice to continue to develop our bodies and brains in a healthy upward trajectory, or we can follow the Western example of recent decades and intentionally poison our population with genetically altered food, pharmaceuticals, vaccinations, and fast foods that should be classified as a dangerous additive drug." That is what this man said. Who understands what he said? Please, the number of people who understood what I read. That is why the whole world is after him. He spoke the truth. Let me say it again. We as a species have a choice to continue to develop our bodies and brains in a healthy, upright manner. Do you understand this one? Or we can follow the examples of the Western example of recent decades and intentionally poison our population with genetically modified foods. Who understand this one? Now it's coming. Pharmaceuticals, vaccinations, and fast foods. The first day I saw McDonald's in Accra, I was so sad. But we were happy to see McDonald's. Even now in China, the whole street is all McDonald's. And I say, hey, whole China, the world is changing. The reason why we are studying this, now I'm bringing you home. I knew at first you'd be confused. Food prices are soaring. The whole world, not only in Ghana. And we are all looking at alternative means to feed ourselves and family. Now, people can no longer save because the next morning you are thinking of what the family will eat. And some people are also trying to make so much from the situation. My brothers and sisters, and my fathers and mummies, this is a time to watch out. If I were the devil, this time will be the very time I'll begin to push the poisons onto the market so that you die early and then you will become a bad steward. Because we are not of ourselves, but for who? So we should watch out. 50 countries, including France, Germany, Italy, have banned or restricted GMOs, while the US does not even require labeling. In US, in fact, they don't care, you will not label the GMOs. What about Ghana? Companies continue to produce GMO products. Is it harmful or good to our health? Or we just look at the immediate satisfaction, which is hunger? What about the consequences in future? I have a video here. I don't know if you can show it. And then let's listen to what has happened in Ghana. Hello, can we play the video, please? This one is GH1 News. In fact, it's online. You can also go and look at it. Let's listen to news. Kassier. Enkechi kakra. Kassier. Oh, no sound. Please, someone, you listen small. We should do everything possible to listen small. What is happening? In the midst of all this, we should what? In fact, when Pastor called me to come, I said, God, should I talk about it? They say almost the same thing every time. So I didn't want to come, I'm telling you. And I had a dream. Who tell these people? This is what is happening. Look, I can give you all the medication in the world. Look, the fruits, they are there. Every day, by the grace of God, God gives me new things. But when you begin to eat some of these things that are not natural, human beings put it together in the lab and try to make it work. Definitely, the human being is not God, so we will have issues. I'm not saying it's bad, but you are not God. Who is the creator here? Please, scientists, who is the creator here? Not even one. Okay. If you are not getting it, maybe I'll summarize it.
Scientist and the principal investigator for BT Copy project with the CSIR Savannah Agricultural Research Institute. I'm talking about SARI. Dr. Mboyeni has revealed that Ghana is ready to release of its first genetically modified crop.
Did you hear that? Please go back and come again so that they will not say that I said it. Come back, play, let's go.
A senior research scientist and the principal investigator for BT Copy project with the CSIR Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, I'm talking about SARI, Dr. Imboyeni, has revealed that Ghana is ready to release of its first genetically modified crop known as BT cowpea, where he expresses worry about the country's import of cowpea grains from neighboring countries. When
you buy the natural food and then you keep safe. So you can decide to switch your life on and off. It's a decision you make because we are hungry, you know. We are hungry. Nano brother no kromuton is saying. Na GM bana ye betimi enye aduane na debia aduane wo ho doctor is saying. Look, on a normal day I dare not mention it. But I feel that we are in the house of God and we should tell you the truth. I'll come back to it. But let's look at one other thing. That is a poison that is killing 60% of our relatives. Let's go on. Pesticides and herbicides. How many of you have eaten mushroom this year? Mushroom. Mushroom, oh, correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Good, God bless you. Where did you get them to buy? Are they natural? Are you sure? You went to the... It came from your house. Under my fire... No, wait. Do you know mushroom? Okay. Osofo is laughing. Okay, great. You know, there are different types of mushrooms. We have the oyster and all that. I mean, the real old mushroom with the big head. Correct. Mountain Hill, right? Huh. But that one, you know what is happening? They are getting extinct. Because of the pesticides we use, they are getting extinct. In fact, when you get some, it's either coming from the Sefi, somewhere in a village, a farmer who is not able to buy weedicides. It's farm that you have some. Even that place now, Galamsey have destroyed it all. And so the original mushroom is very extinct and it's very expensive. Meboa. Very expensive. Some years back, yeah, a market cry and talk. Me mama de utwa no de ahye fridge no packing it. Tin. Said we need more bedding. You eat it for a very long time in the year. But what has happened is this poison. There's this company in America called Monsanto. In fact, they are the grandfathers of all this. In a way, it's help, you know, because sometimes if you're having a farm and then you have to get labor to work on the farms, they are now all Okada boys. So in the bush, you don't have them. So sometimes you have to go for these herbicides. You know, they are good somehow. But the aftermath, we don't quantify it. When you look at the label, who have seen one before? The bottle has a band. Each band has its meaning. But our farmers, most of them, some are okay, but most of them are illiterate. Research upon research have confirmed that. So when you say, "What tokome," then you go for 1 cup. And then the toxicity is in your food. And we are all sick. I went to Nsuatre in the Bunahafo region in the year 2008. And I was going to, Mr. Mepasemu, I went there to investigate why is it that anytime there's shortage of tomato from Burkina, quickly in Suatre and then Techimentia, they quickly have tomatoes on the market. At the time I was in Sunyane. So I was like, why? You know what they do? Anytime it starts to rain, at the time the route to Burkina get flooded and then the vehicles get stuck on the way. And so at the time, the local tomatoes they have is it's a bit mature, but not grown to red where the market will like it. And then they'll go and buy a chemical. At the time, it was called Cocobri. They call it Cocobri. Do you know Cocobri? They repackaged it by the ministry, by Ghana Cocoa Board, into this chemical. I'll mention the name. And then they spray it raw on the tomato. But the next morning it's red. Oh, then we go and hala hala. And then we buy it at very expensive price. And you know, so it's called Redomé. The name of the chemical is Redomé. Don't go and do that. So I took it to the lab, and then I conducted a copper test on it. All the tomatoes around that season were all copper precipitates. Do you understand what it is? It means that it's cancer. You are just buying cancer. Oh, I wrote a book on that. I'll try and see if you can share it. Copper, if you like, go and get that chemical. It's called Redomé. Look at it. It's copper based. It's not meant for tomato. The government brought it for cocoa mass spraying, right? Because cocoa, the pod is big, it's not able to penetrate. But our dear farmers, as at the time, 2006, were using it to force ripe tomatoes. I'm not saying it's no good, but how we use it is a problem. And so you can take all the medication in the world, you can live chaste as possible, you can withdraw from a number of things as possible, but still be sick. This is the source of it. So, watch out. Watch out. I want you to hold your brother and tell the brother that I want you to watch out from today. Another person, a brother did a research also on for glyphosate. You know, most of the chemical weedicides, they have one active ingredient, which is glyphosate. You look at the bottle, you see it's called glyphosate. And then the test he ran, when you get my slides, the references are there. You can take it. It's a free gift. Please, it's expensive because you have to read it, okay? The sources are there. And they came out that the person who did the research said that he also went to pick someone's breast milk. A number of people who use foods with, what do you call it? People who consume glyphosate. And then they realize that inside the breast milk were glyphosates. And so you see this boy here, he's simply drinking Run-Up or glyphosate. And it's the same thing. We have drunk glyphosate, and then we are grown. And we are falling sick. Ladies and gentlemen, This is no joke. It's happening now. If I were you, I'll start thinking of Pastor. Pastor, I need some tomatoes. Can you get some people to plant it for me? Or I'll break my house and begin to do container garden in my own house to produce and eat what I produce. You can do something. Your health is a treasure. When you are when the way I me the people dying is not news to me. Pastor, if it's Sunday, if it's Saturday, it's either you are blessing someone's marriage or you are burying somebody. True or false? So somebody dying is not anything again. True or false? Yes, it's no news. But we are children of God. We are supposed to live long and prosper in health, not to kill ourselves. In fact, what is happening is that we are killing ourselves unaware. Simple. So Monsanto, in fact, it's online. They know. They themselves, they know. Let's go on. So the global usage of glyphosate. In Ghana, we have passed this stage. The whole world, in fact, we have passed. Even we don't have data to support our claims. In fact, the amount of glyphosate we import and the amount how we use it, real crabeho. You go to the farms. I know Pastor is aware of what I'm talking about. How they abuse the chemical. And we, the elites, we don't want to farm and do gardens for our own selves. What is this? You can read 100 meals. You can read 10 meals. And you allow someone who can read 10 meals to produce food for you to eat. Do you understand what I said? You can read 100 meals. You can read 10 meals, right? And you allow someone who can read 10 meals to produce food for you to eat. It means you will die. The lady is shaking her head. Don't do a garden, at least in your house. A container, just break the container, put soil inside, plant tomato. You have plenty. You save money in your pocket. At least you not eat anybody's GMO because it's coming like kakai. In fact, you already import them. The truth of the matter, those of you who think you have money and then you get those things from the market, without labels, you are in trouble. I'm not saying all are bad, but if you don't know what you are eating, what are you eating? Asamaba. So why won't you just eat your natural foods and save your money? If you like tomato, go and get it. It's all over. If I were you, I'll just buy the ripened tomato, scoop the seeds out of it, wash it nicely, plant it in my house. When I see that there are pathogens coming from it, I will use neem tree, and spray it on it. All the insects will go away. I save my life. Please. Now, 5 facts about glyphosate that we know. They are facts. They are linked to kidney failure. So it's banned in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, they banned it there because they said that their research confirms that it leads to kidney failure. And we are all aware. In fact, it's written on the containers. It's written, but the people who use it cannot read. It's written. So you have to use according to a certain dosage. And they can read. And we read, we allow them to cook for us. And we chop. It also pollutes the air. It's even on the container. It's have effects. Some have effects. Not only galamsey, the weedicides we use causes even more dangerous damage to the water bodies than even galamsey. I'm telling you. If you go and take the one that have been polluted with galamsey and pick the clear ones. Let's go and check which one is more toxic. I'm telling you, the glyphosates in the water bodies are even more. But the galamsey is not anything good. In fact, Ghana is so beautiful to be damaged with galamsey. But what I'm saying today is that apart from Gala, there's another danger that no one seems to talk about. Is the use of the herbicides. Someone said that this guy, when you get a slide, you can check. He said you can track public health events across the world and corresponding the stats of glyphosate spraying. You look at the company or the country with the highest import of glyphosate, and then you can track the public health issues, which and it's definitely sure that they correspond with the health issues. If you import more glyphosate, the public health issues goes higher. If they import lower, it means the public health issues also are what? Are down. And so we decide, for Ghana, some even manufacture some in our homes, I'm telling you. I don't want to go so much into it. Now, another study was conducted by Harvard University School of Public Health, and they have this to say. Can you read from the screen? GMOs increase food allergies. GMOs, they increase food allergies. GMOs can spread uncontrollably and cause damage to biodiversity. GMOs increase the use of toxic agricultural chemicals. Even the GMO now, they said it's not here. When we have not used GMO, it's worse. Now, when the GMOs come, what will happen? But we take the GMOs. We don't plant it yet, but we take it. Now we are also going to grow it. GMOs do not increase food security. We are doing all this in the name of food security to have food for every mouth. That is why we are doing all this. But Harvard School of Public Health says that it does not encourage food security. That is what they said. Traditional breeding has greater genetic potential than GMO. Imagine, do you know that when we were young, we used to eat akoko. Yeah, they were quite skinny, you know. Chiawo. And then we started introducing poultry, rollers, cockles, and all that. Now, do you know that the population of our local birds are reducing? And so I can tell you on authority that a time to come, one national wardon. He will raise them. Amen. And a lot of things are getting extinct. Like the mushroom I mentioned. Now we have mushrooms in bag. I'm very, very, very sure that the mushrooms we ate are from the bags. For them, I can even teach you how to produce some. But I mean the real, original mushroom. Okay, so let's go on. Let's skip. You know what it does to your body? According to some sources, that when you have the slides is there. This is Collins D, 2011. Facts or Myth. That is the name of the book. And then it's online. The sources are there. It was published in August 26, 2015. He says that when you eat GMO, it decreases your body's immune system. That is what he said. And I also believe him. That is what he said. So when you can confirm from the sources. And then another person, a journal in 2015, the topic is top 10 cancer-causing foods. And the person mentioned in the same August 26, 2015, he said that GMO produces cancer, especially lung cancer. And me too, I believe. In fact, this man also said this, Brian, in 2015, chemical use on genetically engineered food linked to cancer. And then he said that eating GMO makes you infertile. And me, Kwame Ahe, I believe it. That is what he said. And so, for those of you who think you have money and you buy those things, you don't even know what is written on it, and you think you are enjoying life, I'm sorry for you. Very soon, you become infertile. And then pastor will start praying. Pastor, would you say that prayer again? I don't think God will answer. I'm telling you. Please, if you think you have money, plant your own food and eat your own food. When you come, oh, I am rich. That's why I eat my own food. You know the funny thing about Vladimir Putin? He do not eat any food he didn't plant. Kamana yekune de dada. If you like, go and read his documentary. What he eats are foods from his own garden. And he's old, but very handsome. And he's able to cause mess the whole world. The whole world is in a mess because of Mamukome. Mama. It's because of what he eats. Please. It causes cancer. I've said it. This one to Edward. Eating GMO could give you. You can check. I have it. I brought the slides. And then we have these statistics from Albertus Children's Hospital. And then we compared those who eat genetic modified foods and those who don't. Those who don't are in red. Those who do are in white. And look at what is happening. Cardiac diseases. Akumayare, if in Yedi, what you buy at those places, you think you have money. Now, another Russian scientist, I want to read it. Laboratory test by the Russian National Academy of Sciences reported that more than half the babies from mother rats fed GMO soya died within 3 weeks. The babies in the GM group were also smaller and could not produce. Rats fed on a commercial rat chow using GM soya within 2 months had infant mortality, fatality, wild range, ranging from 55%. Do you understand? So even they compared it in rats. And those who ate the GM foods died within 3 weeks. And they were smaller. And they couldn't produce. They couldn't reproduce. It means that if you are young and you started eating things you don't know, there's a very high probability for you. Say God forbid. It also affects your menstrual cycle. Ladies, research have also confirmed that it also causes autoimmune deficiency diseases. So you can read the sources from the slides, and causes body acidity. So what can I do to keep fit? If I've come to bring all this panic and I don't come with solutions, it means I should have just shut up. So I'll come with solutions. First, sweat, do some jogging, walk like pastor, do exercise, walk, be strong, drink water. I don't want to go much into it. Drink more water. There's this that I want to share for 5 minutes. I'll try to do it in 5 minutes. It's a secret. In fact, I've not shared it anywhere before. But whilst the whole world is crying for food security, we should have alternative to combat, to nullify, the toxins we may eat. Because maybe I'll visit you in your house. Oh, dog, Jiwambo, Mendia, Menyasem, Timedi, Media, Adia Medebeye Mihuyen, I will tell you. Say Amen. Who knows sprouts? You know sprouts? Sprouts. You know sprouts. Who have eaten some before? Allah. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Sunday, bye. Yemanemi. Did you eat? Okay. And the first sprout, because of time, I will give you. I'm going to give you one. Listen. Some of the things, I don't write them, but they are very dangerous. Listen. Oil palm sprout. And our palm sprout. Okay, or palm tree sprout. Abe, ni dua kese no, na esi wo no. Abe ni fifi wo form a, nkitenkete a. Eba abe ni abe dua kitwa na, eno ho asem na. Ke me babibio ye shipon. Ke gbele tomo ni iba tomo enyo aloe ten, aloe kumi no sanemi wie ne. Noni mi nga gbeji akwete. Noni mi nke feji ke oye bipi wa denche. Ni ekuleje noko ni keba. Ni da lebi okwe ekume. Ke gbeke mi okwe ekume ehani bipi e bashi. Mami nkatwi abedua wante hwe wante Abedua, so abedua na wo ho no. Ewo mu ana enyin a epro na egu fom. Afi bɛkɔ ase no na efifi nketenkete. Abedua na efifi nketenkete. Wa wo bi pi dindindindindin a enya soɔden na de ba ya ebia enyin bi anaze bibisa no. De bia no pa kwa na wakote ba ko no wahohoro ho no wa enyi mbre. Then I should speak in English, right? The palm sprouts. You just go get it early in the morning. One strand, one small tree. It's very tender. You wash it and you chew one. One in the morning, one in the evening. When you put it inside your mouth, it's like soap and very slippery. When you chew it, the first thing that I will tell you is that it's able to reduce high blood pressure. Very, very quick. Very, very, very quick. And today I want us to talk about sprouts. Then we will end our presentation. Now, my people, the Chinese, started taking sprouts about 2,200 years ago. There are different types of them. They have the garden pea sprout, the broadleaf sprout, they have the soya bean sprout, they have the radish. I repeat, radish sprout. And a number of them, sunflower. They have the wheat sprout. Now, what happened? What is that? What is there is that they have a number of vitamins. Plenty. Let me give you this assertion. Assuming you are a thief, we are not thieves, or an armed robber. God forbid we are not. And then we have people traveling from here to Tamale. And then we want to get money. We have information that they have a lot of money on them. Where do you think you plan the attack? To get all the monies from them. And what I say? Say be a crofo. If you understand crofobia ethical mu call Tamale. Niska warm ho, ever say a cocoa discount. In fact, now, ubet me 100% of scanning. One a bit me I try. Sir, okay. What will happen is that as they travel on the road, they'll be buying things, especially where there are women. By the time they get to this place, the Ngoko area, pardon? Linda Door, they'll spend about 10% there. When they get to Kumasi, they'll spend 20%. By the time they get to Tamale Road, where you usually do attack, the money will be near finished. Now, if you want to attack, you go and meet them at Nsawam. Also, whom and get the money from them. That's just by the way. But what I mean is that when the plants are younger, they have a lot more of the nutrients than the grown-ups. These are facts. I want to summarize it. You know that the protein, there's so much protein in cowpea beans, and so we are opting for GMOs, according to the news, right? You know that the bean sprouts have 40% more protein than the mature ones. You don't know? Yes. So why do we struggle for the beans whilst we have about 40% more in the leaves, in the sprouts? I tell you, my brothers and sisters, let me give you an example. For protein, protein requirement for every human being. Okay, let's assume, say, say 100%. Can get about 60% from meat, right? And about 30% from the plant sources, right? But I tell you, when we get just 15 grams of the sprout vegetables, you have all the protein requirement for the day. 15 grams. Please don't sleep. When you sleep, I'll mention your name. I will enter spirit and mention your name. Yeah. 15 grams of it is enough for you for the day. Now, for our dear ladies who want to lose weight, every day they come, Dr. Mpesame wants. I said, my head is. Look, when you eat sprout vegetables, it will make your body alkaline, number one, and remove excess fat from your body. As a result, you lose weight. That is why most of the Chinese are not fat. We traveled with one woman. This is why I'm doing Kongkonzao. We traveled with one woman, and then when she saw very lanky Chinese, she said, "Hey, unfortunately for us, the woman had been in Ghana before and I stayed here for a very long time, so she said it. And then do you know what she said? She said it in English. Hey, do you know the investment I've made on? Do you know the investment I've made on myself, in who I am? And they were like, so she invested so much. Thank you. She invested so much on the body to remain. And so, Yanum say, organ and go in your kunu. So, when you eat sprouts, your body is in order. You understand? Your natural figure will show. Okay? And you will not fall sick. So, you know, who knows Chamamao? Chamamao, yeah. He's China's Kwame Nkrumah. And when you go and you mention Chamamao, every Chinese will look at you. Hey, have you been to China? You know Chamamao? And those kind of things. He said something. You know that the Japanese were their masters. And once upon a time, they conquered them through this same man, Chamamao. You know what they do? They dug trenches underground. They stay underground. And so, if it's this community, they come. The Chinese will hide underground. Okay? When they think they are not around, they come up and attack them. To succeed in such battles, your people need to be fit because they'll be digging trenches. And this man, Chamamao, recommended radish sprouts to them. They do radish sprouts. You soon see on the screen, sprouts. Correct, you are good. And so that is what they were eating on the battlefields. And in all the units, none of the Chinese soldiers fell sick because it was later on that Chamamao told the world that they were simply eating radish sprouts. And so, assuming we are on a battlefield, you are all my soldiers. I am instructing you to go and eat sprouts. It does a lot of things. When you go home, you can read around it. It suppresses cancer. Big time. You can read. It's all over. You read health benefits of sprout vegetables. Big time. Just 15 grams per day will do a lot of miracle in your body. It will transform your body. It will remove a lot of things from you. For the sake of time, I don't want to go much into this. And this whole thing, revolution about food security and all that, you, even when you take some, you'll be free. Say amen. Okay, so let's look at how to do it. Can you get me? Go to the last part of it. What you do is that get a tray. Yes, tray. Like tray. And then dig a small hole at the bottom. Get something like a foil or maybe tissue or I don't know. No, it's like small cotton, stiff, stiff, and then put it on the tree, and then you spray a little water on it, and then you put seeds. Now, enkati granite seeds, cowpea beans, sunflower, radish, oko adabraka, agri seed. There are plenty there. They don't even buy it. Then you just spread it on the stiff or on the container, and then you cover it with another container, and then you spray it with water. After 5 days, when you lift it, you see that it's all have germinated. Then you cut small, and blend. You do that for 1 week and report what has happened to you. It's so good. This one is not for sale. This one, there's no agrochemical. This one, you can say, maybe I've not eaten GMO. This one, it will do a lot of work. Please show us some pictures. Let's see. Go. It should be at an early place. In China, this is how they do it. They sell it. It's very expensive vegetable. I heard you. It's very expensive vegetable in China. Only the rich could afford. The poor people eat a lot of meat in China. In Ghana, it's the opposite. Yes, let's go. So this is my tree, okay? Let's go on. Then you line it. Okay, Go. This is for commercial people. Go. Go. Some of the seeds are hard, so you can soak it for say 24 hours, and then you plant them. You can also let go of it and then plant it straight. This is how they sell it in China. Very expensive. So you can also start, maybe one person can devote himself to produce sprouts, vegetables, and then you can buy from the person. It's better than eating something you don't know. Yes, this is what I wanted you to see. Good. So this is how you go about it. You spray it nicely, and then after 5 days, depending on the seed, you see that they are sprouting. Then you cut it, and then you serve. This one in China is very expensive. But it's very difficult for a black man to eat this one. Just an review now. Told me. Please, you have to eat this. It's very, very good for your health. Let's go on. Yes. This one, when you come to my house, I will serve you with this. You don't know when you change your face. It's good, very, very good for you. Let's go on. They build houses like this one, greenhouses, where they produce them. And it's very expensive. Let's go on. So if you are thinking, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me Please, the world is changing. Things are hard. We have to survive. But let's read Exodus chapter 14, verses 14. Then maybe we'll end with it. Who will read for me? Exodus chapter 14, verses 14. One can make count. Yeah, yes, madam. Yeah. You can see.
Exodus 14:14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Amen.
The Lord shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Amen.
I ask Richard to bring Kufuor gallon. This Kufuor gallon. You can divide it into two and do your sprouting here. We have perforated holes under so that it will not retain water. This one, the soil is too much. You can even reduce the soil and then you do your sprout here. So there's an example here on the compound. So please make sure you do what you have heard. One of the things, Doc, I'm sure you should have mentioned, but I didn't mention, that when you eat sprout or sprouted plants are high in chlorophyll, very high in chlorophyll, and you got to eat them. We know people with heart issue, we know people with growth issue, that their growth has disappeared as a result of either drinking or doing smoothie and blending and eating this. This is pomegranate. This pomegranate. Even pomegranate, you can eat it sprouted. Anything green, anything vegetable, it is very high in nutrients. Kufuor gallon, enyena. Kufuor gallon, enyena. So we are going to invite questions. We are going to invite questions, and Doc will answer. Doc, you have about 15 minutes to do questions. This church is our house. So please don't be bothered about the way people are doing their face. I prefer people bring the money for us to do projects than to take the money to the pharmacist. And not just that, but waste my time to come to hospital to be praying for people. I don't have that time. Please, I encourage you to do it yourself. Sprouted is king. I've been telling my secretary almost every time that we have to go into sprouts. Almost every time I tell her. One day, some white, the white man that came to mention Monsanto for the first time, Reverend Phil Reasons. He came to my house, and I've just nursed kale. And we noticed, Akofa and I noticed that when the kale is at the sprout level, you see this natural gogomi, green. That's when they come. And sometimes when you kill them out of anger, there are things that come out of them very deep green, and that's the chlorophyll. And that's how they grow, and they end up becoming a butterfly from there. So please don't take what Doc is telling you for granted. I'm a farmer, I'm a practitioner. Even my own farmers fight me when I say no chemical. They are like, ebe cost you. I say, is that your money? Weed the place, don't put chemical. Because I know, I eat what I plant. So once you chemicalize the earth, and remember, everything about you is the earth. So anytime anybody is putting chemical in the earth, you must be angry. The strange thing that people don't know, the chemical are carried, like I said, by the wind. So your wife is cooking at home. You are spraying in the bush. You come back and eat the chemical. At a place called between Ebri and Isawam, Pokrom, most of the young men there have become impotent. So other people service their wives for them. They do all the pineapples and they have the money, but they cannot be men inside the room. It's a serious business. It's not a joke at all. The things we do, even the way we chemicalize and spray chemical, is not correct. We don't protect. People who spray chemical are like people going to space. The things they wear, the protective element, is like they are traveling to space. For us, we don't care. We just put some things and go and spray. And then you think they are getting money and all that. So please let us start doing gardens in our homes, backyard. Do things in the pot. I've taught you potted. Many years ago, I had 2,000 pots in my house. And that's how I built the Shalom house. Most people don't know. 70% of the money that was invested in that 5-bedroom story building at Shalom was from my house, from pots. Because we have concreted quite a number of places. We have thought about it, but it's good. I came up with a strategy that I'll plant in pots. And I built a 5-bedroom story building within 1 year. And I roofed it. So there is money, there's health, there is wisdom, there is joy. Let us take our destiny into our hands now. Let us not delay it. Start it now. There is something I'm about to start. So Monday, I'm sure by Sunday you see something different in the compound. It's an experiment I'm doing. The sacks are going to come by tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'm going to line them up by the walls. I want you to see it. And I want you to start practicing at home. I don't want to be the only person making it in life. You must make it once I make it. And all of us will be happy. We can change this nation. Never complain you don't have land. Because you don't need land. Everybody have a space. Even if you rented a house, there is space on your veranda. There is space by you. There's space by your door. Put something there. Buy a pot and start growing nice things. Your landlord will think you are having flowers to decorate the house. But you are making food. You are getting oxygen. You are making money. And that's the wise way to live. You have walls in your house. A wall is a whole space. Put climbers on your wall. Anything that climb. Spinach climb. Some beans climb. Cucumber climb. A lot of things climb. So your wall is a space. So you have land. So you don't need to say, Pastor, where do I get land? I don't have money to buy land. You have space. So use all the space around you. And you will make it and make it. Let us read. Let us research. When you hear something, the things I've written here, the things are penned down. No joke. Because this man, when he speaks, even on phone, by the time I finish with him, I'll go and make my notes quickly. And I'll do my extensive researches. And I know what I get out of that. Please, take your destiny. So 2 men and 2 women will ask a question. So if you have a question, please stand like Pastor Philip is standing. Yes, so I need 3 more. Please come forward. If you have a question, just come forward. If you don't come forward and they finish, you don't have any question to ask. Because I don't want somebody's questions. Oh, will be question, I ginger be question. Unibi. Any other question? Any other? Okay, Chef John is coming. Okay.
Shalom.
Doc says I should always make space for 1 woman. Until who is that woman? Was Auntie Esther? Oh, are you coming? You stood and sat. Where is the woman? Okay. I will also make 1 space for a woman. So last woman. Okay. Okay. Auntie Joy, so, okay, so that's it. After these people, nobody will ask a question.
Shalom. Pastor, the Pokum that you mentioned is too far. Aviation land here. There's a small river there, small sandy water. All the farmers there, they spray. When they pour the chemical, the bottle, they just put inside the small river. So it is not far, just here. Aviation, our back here. So let's be very careful. I mean, let's watch out what we are told. Very important. Number 2, if I'm trying to do a little garden in my farm, in my house, and then somebody happened to spray around, what happened to my garden?
Plants.
Yes. It's not going to be affected?
It will depend on the distance. But for you personally, you inhale it. you obehumia kumu, and that is bad. So you should keep some distance from where the person is, and also dependent on the wind direction. Okay, so if possible, the person spraying is at the biggest risk. You know what? People who spray put the machine at the back. They have. Let me demonstrate it. They have the knapsack at the back, and then they'll be using their right hand like this. And then you see the nozzle is this side. They spray and be working in the chemical. Meanwhile, the producer did it in such a way that the nozzle will be on the right. So he will spray from this side, come back. But we spray and walk inside. That is why most of the guys are impotent, because they inject more of the chemicals. But in your contest, it will depend on the distance. Number one, yes, just around. No, elsewhere, the person will be arrested. Yes, we don't do that. But in Ghana, before you get a person arrested, no, you see, not your garden, it's your health first. Your plants can repel. You know, some of the chemicals cannot take sunlight. You know, when the sunlight shines on it, they despair, okay, or they sublime, okay. Now, you, the person briefing, is the issue I'm talking about. So you need to discuss with your neighbor in peace, you know. Okay, when you are about to spray, let's all go out so that when you are done with your spray, then we can all come in. We can do that. Yes. Even the... Okay, thank you.
Pastor Philip, plant a lot of cactus in your house and eat cactus every day. You will deal with these metals and these chemicals.
Thank you.
My little contribution.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Okay, so
Sorry.
sorry.
I have a friend watching us from Australia, and he has also asked the question, so I would answer. The person sent me a WhatsApp message. Okay, so I'll answer. You finish it. I will answer.
So I guess I have a question and some form of suggestion. The question is, you mentioned a certain dosage, like what volume of sprouts do we need in a day? 15.
Yeah, 15 grams.
Is it at a go, or you do 7.5 in the morning?
No. You
7?
can take it at a go.
You can just take it at a
Yes,
go.
even twice a day.
So you can take 15 morning,
No,
15 evening.
Depending on what you are using it for. If you are just using it for, say, preventive stuff, you take 15. But if you have a particular disease ailment, then I would have to teach you how to eat it.
Okay, so your terminology, prophylactic and therapeutic, is that?
Okay. So you, for the purposes of our audience,
Okay.
yeah.
Preventive.
But for preventive, maybe 15 grams
A day.
a day will be fine.
It's fine.
But you know, there's a whole meal for it. You can parboil and eat it also raw. You parboil, you have a lot in a basket, in a bowl, and then you dip it in a hot water and pick it up. You can take it. But when it's very fresh, it's very, very pungent and strong. So if you abuse it, you may have diarrhea. But it's for your good. What is there that pushes it down? You understand? That's why.
And in the 15 mils, is it you blend?
15 grams.
15 grams, sorry. So 15 grams is the weight. You make sure you
Yes,
get that weight,
yes.
and then how you eat it, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Okay,
It has to go into the system.
all right. My second thing is more of a suggestion. So once you've done what you should, like the 4 gallon and all, sometimes we get busy, so watering it, I heard you mention 5 days or something. Is it that you water once and then
Depending on the seedling. You don't water, you spray.
just spray?
Yes, you
So
spray.
you ought to spray it every day?
Depending on the seeds. You know, some seeds are hard. Like if you are doing lettuce, You just spray once and that will be the end. In 3 days, they will all start coming. So depending on the seeds, depending on the seeds, if you are doing, say, radish, you spray about twice. Don't make it wet. When it's wet, it will get rotten. So you spray, spray. There's a term for it. You moist it somehow. You sprinkle for it to get some moisture for growth.
And can you do it vertically to like the vertical farming?
Sure.
You can.
Sure.
All right. So you turn it around and maybe every 5 days or something you are getting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. When I started church earlier, I think I had a debate with Dr. Rich, and I wish today was here. What's happening to one of the gurus in GMO? Having said that, let me just ask this question. You seem to be putting two things from my perspective. You're talking about chemical spraying and you're talking about GMO.
Yes, I did.
These are two different products, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is what I did.
Okay. And most of the countries we are talking about, from my little study as a chef, right? I'm not a specialist over there. These are people who produce a lot of GMO products. And mostly, they happen to last a bit longer than the chemical sprayed one. All right, so I just want to get it because most of the chicken, most of the meats, let me say 99.9% of the products we have in Ghana and across the world are GMO. And
It's
the
the chef who
countries,
said it too. It's the chef.
all right, yeah, so I'm coming to that. But the countries that are eating it more are growing more longer than those of us that says we don't want. Example like monosodium. All right, we say it's from Asia, but these people tend to grow more longer than we do in Africa. So what are we not doing right? That those people are producing and eating it as growing. And those of us that are saying that we are being cautious about it. So it's not about the chemical. It's about the organisms that have been modified. So what are they doing that we are not doing right?
Okay.
My first question. The ones answered, I'll follow with the next one.
Wow. Do you have data to confirm what you are saying? Now, hold on. The first GMO product was released in the year 1994.
Yeah.
Now, there's not sufficient data to confirm what you are saying.
Well, if you Google it, because what, pardon me, I'm not trying to argue with you, but
No, I'm just being factual. Let's face it.
if you say there's no data, then where did you get your data? Also, you are sharing with us.
Okay. Let me share. I brought the example of the rat.
Okay.
You know that it is expected that in Europe and in America, the life expectancy rate is more than in Africa. It's a fact, right? Now, if you live in America and you are supposed to live, say, 75, and you die at 60, what has happened? But if you come and then you compare it to an Africa whose life expectancy is around 40, and you die at 60, would you say there's something to compare? That's why I said that.
Right. So my question again is, what are they doing
What are they doing right?
that
Thank
we are
you.
not doing?
Now
Because-
that we've settled on one level, when you are sick, you will go to the hospital, right?
No.
No, this facts. If you have the means, you go to the hospital.
Right.
But if you don't have the means, what would you be doing? You go and get some, and go to the pharmacy. What they are doing right is that when they are sick, they go straight to the hospital. Even if it's whatever, they're able to manage it for some time before finally they leave. That is what they are doing right. Two, at least, even if it's that bad, they eat well. It's balanced to us. You know this issue about malnutrition in our case.
Yeah.
And it's all contributing to what they are doing right.
Okay. So are you saying GMO is bad food?
Bad food.
Are you saying it's a bad thing for us to get involved with GMO? Help me out, please.
Oh, I said a number of things. I repeated it myself for about 4 or 5 times. And even brought a diagram. No,
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
it's bad for you.
Wow.
And I quoted sources that some other people have come with results that are saying that it leads to cancer. Do you all remember? Yes, it's even in my slide. So you can confirm it and then get back to me.
Okay, because, all right, I'll meet with Dr. Rich. We'll find out. But,
Do you know what? I was in China, and for a very long time, China was not into GMO because of some of these arguments that I brought forward. But in 2006, China began to soften its stance on GMO by allowing GMO products like soya for animal production. And so gradually they are also softening their stance on it. And so, like I told you in the beginning, it's a very subtle issue that because of food security, everybody is beginning to soften their stand on it. But the truth is what I've told.
okay, thank you. My stand on it was that probably we could look at the chemicals being more dangerous rather than push on a GMO. All right, so that is my stand on
Yes.
it. The other thing again, the peas. Which one were you talking about? Like, is there a particular one that we need to eat to get the grammage from it? Not the sprout. Yeah, we mentioned about cowpeas.
Cowpeas.
Yes.
Yes, I said cowpeas.
Yes, I'm
You
just
can
asking.
use it as a sprout.
So, like, is there a particular one or the
Oh
categories?
yes, the cowpeas. All the cowpeas are good, depending on the species you want. And they are all cowpeas.
Okay.
Cowpeas are cowpeas.
What doctor is saying is that the seed, your seed for sprouting, must be organic seed. Take note of that. Organic seed. So take note of that. That's what he's saying. When people speak, I listen. And sometimes they might not say the way you will hear it, but I hear it in my heart.
And we are online too. A lot number of people
Exactly.
are sending me.
Exactly. So doctor is online. He's saying what research is saying. I, as a pastor, can say it and I'm okay. But he and he himself, because of their profession, there are things they cannot say, not because they are afraid or they lie. But what doctor have said is that chemicals, they have side effects. GMOs have side effects. Organic have no side effect. Make your choice. Chemical, GMO, organic. When you go to the Western world, they have labeled it in a shop. So you make a choice as to how you want to live. Yesterday, I went home and mommy, I ate in the afternoon. Mommy asked me, would you eat again in the evening? And I was like, looking at the time, I wasn't too sure. But when I went into my room, Nkiti is coming. Nkiti was trying to catch. You know Nkiti? When you are not eating properly, you are not food properly. So I'm like, there's something I need to do. The mommy said, should I bring you chicken? Because when I go home, you've grilled chicken. So I asked her, is it a travel chicken or locally made chicken? Is it travel? I said, please, keep your chicken. I won't eat travel chicken, and at night, God, I won't do a lot of activity to deal with it. So for me, even my home, I ask questions before I eat. I don't just eat anything. I will ask the question, what is it? Where is it coming from? Because if everybody want to die, me, I want to live because life is good. So GMO, organic, chemical, make your choices. Do you know, I've discovered potatoes. How many of you have been buying sweet potatoes of late? Organic sweet potatoes, when you boil it, the inside should be like puna. Very flaky. But today, when you boil your potatoes, it becomes water soaked. You know the reason? The reason is the chemical. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Okay, that's fine. All right.
Thank you. Shalom. Mine is very simple. It's about the sprouts. The examples that you gave, I listened, I heard, you mentioned the legumes, sprouts, mainly the legumes and then the vegetables. How about the grains? Grains, like maize and the other grains. And then we have this drink, we call it aliha. Aliha, you know. Okay. What do you say about it? Is it good? Is it good? The way we process it before taking, is it equally good? You know.
It's good, but you know, my issue is that they dump too much sugar. Too much sugar. If there's a way you can manage the sugar and make it, it'll be great. That's my take on that.
So no problem about the processing.
Yes.
Yeah, no process.
Sprouted food, the doctors now, he knows, they are using that to cure cancer and many other things. The sprouted food. So you can sprout millet, you can sprout corn, you can sprout other grains. In fact, quickly, the quickly we guys eat is a sprouted meal. That's why I like it. So sprouted things are very good. So please take it serious. Doc, I hear a lot of people asking questions online, so they'll bring their questions to you. And please answer them. There are people who are in church with us. Yes. Yes, so answer yours, and then from church, the church's platform too, please answer them for us, because they are interested in our ministry. Okay.
Shalom. Osofu. When I was young, I heard a proverb, and it's in the form of a question. I say, Ghana Franca, a koko, ahabamono, and akoko srade. Instruma tuntum eda akoko srade ni mfinfin. Se wo instruma ni fi wa na adan oma be so Franca, then omanen. Look, Pastor once said something, and up to today, he said something. He said, everybody have a voice. Whether you have money or you don't have, you have a voice. And I told Pastor, I don't believe it. But he insisted, and sometimes I battle with my thoughts. Please, do you stand in the position to, now that you have a friend as my pastor, because I know he has a voice, can you do something about this chemical thing? Like, when I was sitting there, it's as if I'm dreaming. Why are we killing our own selves?
It's real.
So, if you have a voice, like my pastor, then form an alliance and do something. About 5 months ago, I did some video. Always when we hear about Joseph, we talk about Oboedramai. What about the food storage? Like Adriana or store, how he managed to come up with that thing. If every church in this country, every church, not the whole like Pentecost, one church, but the branches of churches have 1 acre of land somewhere. Because churches can be powerful more than our presidents. Because the reason why we should buy cocoa for 2 cities. Whilst we can create a platform, you ask, mega carries, in your storeroom, then I'm okay, yeah, I enter Presby, yeah, or maize. Why should we? Then you look, also, that's I was thinking. When I was designing I was thinking about something. Mega carries can make something like cocoa. Give it and power. Which one may that cocoa we don't sell with polythene like rubber. Come with your flax, your cup. Then we can sell that cocoa 1 cedi, and we can spread it. Our ladies can get work. Why should we sell cocoa for 2 cedis? Gary, the advertising here. Whilst also for every church like Kumasi, every church have an acre. Why should we buy Gary for 20 Ghana? I don't understand. I don't. Sometimes, Pastor, sometimes I leave to church. Today I'm confessing. I leave church. I'm angry with you, but in a positive way. Yes. Because imagine pastor is angry, passionate, saying, say, Munria breadfruit, I don't have any capacity, no. I don't have. But this man will say, Munria, I saw coconut here that day. I said, God. So I told myself, Auntie Joy is a Jumano, yeah, I'll put it in that thing. And I went to the net, I saw to have coconut. I want to do it, but we don't have the means. So if we are doing it as a collective, something as a church, meaning say can afford no. What you say? Because sometimes it's worrying. Me bache yo.
Krum ha. Ye tuntuo wa.
Etuo. Ah, me nim say etuo bi Kumasi. Me nim baby omo ton tuo pa today.
Bullet so.
Once you sell the gun, you sell the bullet.
Ani yen hwe wo ho. Ye de.
You had to be hunting, and you had to be boy and home buying. That's what I know about God. So what deserve you?
May you But on a more serious note, on a more serious note, I know Apostle Kujusafo have a farm. Occasionally, I go there to buy tomatoes and some vegetable for my people. And I know high priest can easily do this. I mean, we can have a farm and manage it well, because my experience about churches is that anytime they have a collective something, do not, most of the time, let me use the word, prosper. Because we have diverse characters. And you see, he's talking now. Where he gets there, to be a different matter. So please, I know we can do something about it, but let's plan it well so that it will be effective. Thank you. Anaima.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for the knowledge you are impacting onto us. I really appreciate it. This GMO and chemicals and all those things. Everybody has his own view, his own mind about it. But if you know what is good for you, you go for what is good for you. That's all I want to say. And I just want to find out from you, the seeds. I bought some seeds from the Agric Extension Office. And I just want your confirmation. Is it okay, or I should get, I mean, even the things that we buy in the market, we are not sure of the chemicals they have sprayed on it. So even scooping the seeds from that vegetable that I have bought, I'm not even sure of it. But I just want to find out from you whether the seeds from this Agric Extension Offices, the Ministry of Agric and things, we can rely on. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you so much. I'll answer in a professional way. Monka amen, mami. As at now, we do not produce GMOs in Ghana. And so most of the seeds that are available that we know of are non-GMOs. That's it. But they are coming. As we saw in the news, they are coming. So that is the only source of seeds we can have. I told you there's Agri-Seed, there's Agri-Mat just around. Is it here? Yeah, Agri-Mat. You can get some. They have it. And for now, they are good seeds. You can equally buy some from the open market. If it's just garden, you can use it. Thank you. Aha! Someone is, I think, Audrey. The red oranges, are they GMOs? I don't have any evidence. I don't have any basis to confirm to you now that they are GMOs or not. But what I can say is that there are orange GMOs too. Assuming a scientist says that he prefers the color of an orange being like a watermelon. The scientist can easily pick that part, the character of, say, watermelon that looks reddish, that has the lycopene, and then fuse it to that of the orange to have the character like the watermelon. It is possible. But as at which orange, or I don't have any basis to confirm to you right now whether they are or are not. There's something also called breeding, where through mating or crossing, or maybe they call grafting or something, they can transfer some of the characters from one plant to another. And then there's one I learned in China that we carry the seeds to space. And then we go and do mutation in space and come and then plant the seeds and then identify automatically they become mutated in space. And then we come and then sample the characters that are showing good, that you would love for food security purposes. You understand? And so we don't have any grounds or evidence to say a product is or not. But most of the speculations that are going around is that if you want to know a product is a GMO, when you scoop the seeds out and they are not able to germinate, it means they are GMOs. That is the speculation going out there. And so that is what I can also say. Thank you. I think the rest who asked the questions on WhatsApp, I've answered them. They are usually those ones that we have spoken about. Thank you so much.
Praise God. How many of you are blessed? Pastor Eric, thank you for being angry with me in a positive way. As for the anger I have passed there with this church, if there is anything about me, there's nothing that God tells me or I read that I never come to share here. I'm not a selfish man. I'm a very generous man of God. Things that I can hide to make money myself, I give it to you free of charge. My problem is that you don't come back to say, Pastor, I'm burdened. Only a few. Auntie Joyce owns a coconut farm in Volta region, and yet she has not stepped there. The coconut you saw was for her. She has never stepped into Volta region, but she owns a coconut farm there. So please, when you hear things and you are burdened, come back. Discuss. Let's share it. I have many lands. As I yesterday, Akofa asked me a question. He said, Papa, for example, if I travel and I leave you, who can take over from me? And I started thinking. She asked me that question. He said, if I should travel today and leave you, tell me any of your children who can stand in my stead and do what I do for you. So sometimes I'm more frustrated than all of you here, because everything God tells me, I tell you. 5 years ago, I had a vision about cactus. I came here, opened my vuvuzela. Everybody, plant. And I told you why God said, plant. And you're here. Because when I say you don't do, I bring them here and plant them out of frustration. Out of frustration. Plant breadfruit out of frustration. I said, let me own the farm myself. Friday, we harvested breadfruit, almost 3,000 pieces. 3,000. We have to spend 3 hours to be sponging and washing it here. And I was looking for human beings who are my own to come and help me. Only few. So I, the pastor, have to sit, use sponge, and wash and clean for 3 hours. And as I was doing it, I almost wept. Because I personally don't need that. I'm doing all these things for you and everybody here. So sometimes you frustrate me too. And let me tell you the truth. Because we are so blessed, we are so rich with information, but we don't act on it. We don't. And that's the problem we have. So I'm angry with everybody here, but on a positive note. I'm angry with everybody here. Everybody's looking at my face, and I'm angry with you. Because there is nothing that I've not shared with you. Nothing. The only thing I cannot share with any human being is my wife. But everything I'll share with you. New idea, I come and say it. New product, I come and say it. New thing, I come and say it. New things, I come and say it. But how many people are running with it? That is the difference. The woman you and I met at the garden at Tema. Today she's going to call me because tomorrow I have to be there. I just walk into somebody's garden and I look at the plants she has. That's a house, but she ran the place for events. Beautiful environment. When you step there, you can feel the peace of God. I felt it. So I asked the woman, this plant, what does it do? They said, well, it's a plant. I planted them. I said, this plant, what does it do? It's a plant. This plant, what does she do? And then I began to tell her, I said, you see this palm, it can cure your cancer. It can cure this cancer. And we Googled immediately, and she read. And she saw. So now she realized that she's sitting on more money than just running an event center. Tomorrow I'm meeting her. He said, Pastor, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I said, oh, you can't sleep. Do you want to sleep like a baby? I'll give you something, you sleep. Came quickly, put it together, and I sent it to her. Yesterday, voice note. He said, Pastor, God bless you. God bless you. And I'll share these things with everybody here. So please, if anybody is frustrated, I'm number one. If everybody is sad and unhappy, I'm number one. When God speaks, let's run with it. Kofi Badago and his wife now produce silver water here in this church. Here. I was so frustrated. I said, so this water business, can't anybody start it? After church, he met me. He said, Daddy, I want to take the burden. And that's the business they're running. It's not my business. It's our business, but that is our business. I'm a father to the business. But that, they are running it now. And some income is coming. You have finished university. You want somebody to employ you. You have a master's, and you don't master any product, anything. You want somebody to employ you. You got to wake up and wake up fast. So I share things with everybody. People don't come back to me. That's the problem. Oh, Pastor Demi Ferrino. You are playing touchline. Then you talk to Akofa, you talk to somebody. Go talk to the man who said it. He has the burden. He will share with you. Now you play touchline. I hear all that. When she does, they don't mind them. When they are ready, they must come back to me. Nobody does any betweener between me and people I relate to. How can you be a betweener? When you two, I'm your father, and you want to play betweener, I will not bother you. So please, let us come together. Sometimes it is not in the cooperative, because it's even this church. You team up with people and they want to be smarter than you. By the time you tell them something, they want to produce it. Then they go and produce something fear that 10 people you can't even supply. So if you want me, I don't even want the cooperative anymore. You hear an idea, Pastor, how can you help me do it? Go with your thing. Pastor, how do you help me? Go with your thing. I don't want to be part of it. Except, of course, I know the person is a business-minded person. They can run with it. I don't want to partnership with anybody. But if you get an idea, oh, Pastor, you said this. I want to do it, really. Okay, I have land. I'll rent you the land. It's not free. Come and do this. So, Eric, I have a lot of land. I don't know how to manage it. So if you are ready and serious, I'll rent you the land. I'll give you the things about the land. You plant and I take what I take. I'm your software when you come to church. When we get to the field, we are doing business there. You people are teaching me a lot of things. You are teaching me a lot of wisdom. And thank you for teaching me, because I've learned wisdom from this school of Mega Caris and Logos Rema put together. So if you want land, you don't have to have a problem. I say Auntie Joyce owns coconut farm, almost 2,000 trees, and she has never stepped there. She didn't give me permission, but I want to say for you to know that things are happening in this church. 2000. She has never stepped there. An investment is secured. So please wake up. Wake up. Wake up, everybody, wake up. Man, you started Walabulu. Ask her who encouraged her. Not that she ran a bakery business. I'm a father to the business, but a business is a business. That is the kind of members I want to raise. Everybody doing something and master it. Then we become a wealthy church. Everybody is a millionaire. Everybody is a billionaire. Everybody is a zillionaire. I want to partnership people by giving advice and counsel. But most of you don't come back. And you try the thing your own way. It doesn't work. Then you won't come back too. I hear all of that. I hear it. I've told you tomorrow, this evening they are bringing the sacks. I'm starting an experiment by tomorrow or this week, coming this week. And I want it to grow to a point, and I'll share with you, every one of you, to start doing that in your home. Generate money and be a blessing to someone. Because that is a kingdom principle. That's the way we need to run the kingdom. Let's stop these little things. Me and my small thing. 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 Now I got him. Some of us, we know the things I invoke. For example, if you do just 1 acre plantain, just 1 acre organic plantain farm, how about? Yesterday, somebody left here. They are going to Holland, Upper Menking. I went to Shalom. I used to have some. But it's over mature because I've left it. So I couldn't recommend any mankind for her to take to Holland. And she only want Oloka. Why? Because they spray. Even mankind is spray. In our village, we don't plant mankind. Once you weed and you bend the land, mankind will grow by itself. But today, mankind doesn't grow by itself anymore because